welcome to this week's edition of The Magnate. Today, we shall be focusing on one of the exalted professions worldwide, not just in Nigeria. Parents, they really pride themselves high when they say they have a doctor in the family. I'm a mother of a doctor, I'm a father of a doctor. Even in medical practice, there are some exalted arms. Today, we shall be focusing on gynecological and obstetrical practice. Who is our magnate for the week? The only way you find out who our magnate for the week is to watch this profile documentary of our veteran who has spent over 50 years in practice. Join us shortly. We're back to commence an interactive session with him.
Born about 73 years ago to the family of Ekemode, his dad was the first Islamic cleric and the first Imam of Ansaruddin, and also an instrumental to the establishment of Ansaruddin schools. Dr. Naheemdeen developed his love and passion for medicine at a very tender age because of his urge to care for humanity. Dr. Naheemdeen Ekemode graduated from the medical school and came back to Nigeria in 1968 to do his housemanship, and he specialized in obstetrics and gynecology at the age of 24. His working career made him traverse different health institutions, different countries, where he had opportunities to advance his profession in Sunderland, United Kingdom. His proficiency and diligence earned him the appointment of being chairman of Lagos State Hospital Management Board. Dr. Ekemode, who can also be referred to a workaholic, developed special surgical skills which enabled him to do several cesarean sessions in 24 hours. Dr. Ekemode is a lover of different kinds of music and is a very good dancer.
You're welcome back to The Magnate for this week. I'm sure you have watched our documentary of our magnate for the week. Here we are with him. It's my pleasure, really delighted to have in our midst Dr. Naheemdeen Adeshina Ekemode. Welcome to The Magnate, sir.
Thank you very much.
Our topic today is gynae and obstetrics. That's the shortest way to refer to it.
Yes.
What do you need to do to be a gynecologist and an obstetrician?
It's a great task. Number one, you must be a doctor. And you must be dedicated. Because obstetrics and gynecology needs a lot of dedication. And with all those attributes, then, of course, after obtaining your MBBS or MBBCH, that's the first degree in medicine. Medical practice. Then, of course, you get attached to
a facility?
The facilities, obstetrics and gynae facilities, so that you learn. It's a very practical profession. Okay. They are woven together, obstetrics and gynecology. Okay. All right, they are woven together. You get into the practice, you get the act properly, and you get the artistry of obstetrics and gynecology. Then after that, you go for your primaries.
Okay. Like when you say you have to be a medical practitioner, you know, let's take it from ab initio now. You gain admission into university.
Yes.
Some people say they're going to go and study medicine.
Yes.
Are you telling me that as soon as you gain admission into the university to study medicine, you are going straight to practice gynae and obstetrics, or you have to graduate from the general practice first?
You have to do general practice first.
Okay.
Which obstetrics and gynae are part of.
Okay.
You have obstetrics, you have gynecology, you have surgery, you have internal medicine, and so on. You have a general idea about medical practice.
And that
These are all
About
branches.
6-7 years, is that true?
About 6-7 years.
Okay.
Depending on which way at what level you enter the medical school.
Okay.
Then, after doing that, when you have your MBBS, even though the certificate shows Bachelor of Surgery and Bachelor of Medicine, but they could have also said Bachelor of Obstetrics and Gynae. But they wrapped everything under surgery.
Okay.
Because obstetrics and gynae, you have surgical aspects of it.
Okay.
So,
as much as you say gynae and obstetrics, they are interwoven. I want you to tell us the difference. I mean, a gynecologist and an obstetrician, what's the difference between the two?
Firstly, Obstetrics and Gynaecology, this is a study and management relating to women.
Oh, okay. Only women?
Only women.
Really?
Obstetrics and Gynaecology.
Okay.
All right. Now, women, you have women diseases. Then, of course, what everybody, the quality, the difference between a male and female is that a female can produce children.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. That area of producing children, managing the pregnancy, that's obstetrics.
Okay, that's obstetrics.
Obstetrics, yes. When the woman starts with the pregnancy, all right, you're already in obstetrics. Then you manage her till the baby is delivered.
Right. Okay, sir, you said gynae and obstetrics is purely for women. I know that, for instance, the situation of infertility in a couple, you visit the doctor, and the doctor will say, bring your male partner.
Yes.
How come? Is that not going to manage the men too if it is only restricted to women?
Yes, when you talk of infertility,
okay.
Firstly, what is infertility?
All right.
Infertility is inability of a couple to get the woman conceived when they live together for over 1 year and making love regularly. Uninterruptedly. All right. When that couple is not able to do that, then you call the couple infertile. But it takes two to tango.
No.
A woman cannot pregnate herself. So you need that of the partner. That's why when you are talking of infertility, you need to know the status of the female partner.
I just wanted to clear that because you said gynae and obstetrics is only for women. That's
yes.
Why I brought that in.
Because it involves women, male too. The rudimentary part of fertility relating to male, a gynecologist is supposed to know that. But when it gets to a point, then the gynecologist may have to refer to a urologist.
Okay.
A urologist is equivalent of gynecology, but in the male sector.
Okay, now I get it. Okay, now let's zero into you. You have been in the practice for over 50 years, 5 decades. That's not.
I'm going to the 52nd year now.
Wow,
practice. Yes.
Over. Okay, you chose to study outside of Nigeria. Is that because you didn't trust the medical education in Nigeria that you chose to go abroad for your studies?
I was interested in doing medicine. My father was a great religious head, that which people call imam or missioner.
Okay,
he was the first missioner of Ansarudin Society.
Okay.
And he wanted me to be like him. And unfortunately, I don't have all the qualities he had to make him a great imam. I don't have the voice he had. I don't have the attitudes. But I have my own attitudes of taking care of people. So I convinced him that at that time when we were talking about 1961, 62, there were very few doctors in Nigeria at that time. And of course, my father being a Muslim cleric, he wanted me also to be a Muslim cleric, but I wanted to be a doctor, which will add to the number of Muslim doctors that we had at that time. We had very few. So I succeeded in getting admission into Cornell University in New York. And my father wasn't too happy about it. I was a young man in those days. I was full of life. I was a great twister. You know, the twist was the latest dance in that time.
Okay.
I was a great twister. Everybody knew me as a great twister. And then it just was really, if this boy goes to America, he will get lost there. So he started encouraging me to go to the Arab world. And the Arab world that was most prominent for education at that time was Cairo, Egypt.
Okay.
So at that time, the highest building in Nigeria was 6-story building in Broad Street. And so the symbol of civilization at that time was skyscrapers. So he was bringing me pictures of skyscrapers from Cairo, Egypt. Then showed me the picture to attract me to go to. I didn't even know what. But I said, this country must be advanced. So Cairo, Egypt. Then he showed me Alexandria Beach, then where people were, were bathing in the sea. And I was enthused, though. It was around 1961, 62. We just got our independence. Many overseas countries gave Nigeria some foreign scholarships.
Okay.
So that's how I never even thought of going to going to attend a university in Nigeria. He encouraged me to go in for the scholarship, and I went in for the scholarship. Fortunately, I got it. I got admission into Cairo University, and that's how I had to travel to Cairo.
Okay. So what motivated you to say this is medicine that you want to study? Is it that you want to impart life? You want to get the name as a doctor?
During my childhood, even I was given names. My stepmother also. The stepmothers in those days, they will not call you your name. So they'll give you a nickname. All right, and that nickname was derived from my attitudes. Okay. What they saw me, they found that I at a particular stage they were calling me lawyer because I was so argumentative. Okay. Then at this particular stage they called me doctor because I was interested in taking care of people. So that instinct was in me naturally. You understand me? And then eventually when I did very well in science subjects, so I found that, all right, this is my calling to do medicine. Okay,
let's look at your stay in Cairo now. Were you impressed as at the time you now got there, all the skyscraper, knowing fully whether you wanted to go to New York, and then eventually you ended up in Cairo? Did you really see the skyscrapers, or that only convinced you to go there? Were you attracted? How was practice?
I am extremely happy that I did my first degree in Cairo University. Because the foundation of any profession is very, very important. There in Cairo University, we learn things directly. When I say directly, instead of using artificial molds to study things, we were using natural cadavers, like in anatomy. In anatomy. You have these plastic materials made to look like, but then you can easily buy a part of the body, and it shows how how the Egyptians take dead bodies. Once you are dead, all right, the rest is carcass. So if it will be useful for practical use, it's available. So you can buy any part of the body in the anatomy department, not in the cemetery as we're doing in Nigeria here. Yes.
Okay, you're talking about Nigeria, sir. You, after graduation, obviously, you came back to Nigeria to practice. Yes. Vis-a-vis your educational prowess in Cairo.
Yes.
You have been in practice in Nigeria. How would you rate our educational thing, particularly since a large chunk of them are produced from our tertiary hospital facilities?
Yes, attitudes matter. In education, in Nigeria, we have been indoctrinated with the love for money, and love for money has influenced a lot of things. And that has our educational standard was high before we had our independence. The education standard was high. The government schools were even better than private schools. But it's the reverse now, is the reverse. And the love for money has really affected the standard of our education. Okay. In Egypt, it is your birthright to have education. You understand me? The government believes everybody must have education from primary to university level.
Okay, so you are implying, in some sense, that education is still quite expensive in Nigeria, apart from the privileged few.
Yes.
You know, so we are still chatting with Dr. Ekemode, the medical director of Ekemode Specialist Memorial Hospital
and Women's Infirmary.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Let's go for a short break.
Human capacity development, as they say, is the backbone of entrepreneurial advancement in every society. With the bane of youth unemployment sweeping across the globe, the federal government has charged the tertiary institutions to make entrepreneurial studies mandatory in their curriculum. Ahead of the mandate, the University of Lagos has blazed the trail with the establishment of Entrepreneurship and Skills Development Center, where all students are meant to acquire some skills before graduation. To this end, a Train the Trainers capacity building program was organized by the Great Citadel of Learning to in turn impact on the multitude of students. The 10-day training program had the brief opening ceremony on Tuesday, 25th of February at Exotic Entrepreneurship and Skill Development stakeholders in attendance. After the opening formalities, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundikpe, in his welcome speech, charged the participants the need to make good use of the training.
The first among equals, producing graduates that are locally relevant, globally competitive, and developing an entrepreneurial ecosystem that will enhance our visibility as a research and innovation-driven institution, end of quote. Second, we have confidence in our belief that there is an entrepreneurship side of each discipline across the 12 faculties in the University of Lagos, waiting to be unleashed. Considering the entrepreneurship development landscape in our university, there is an urgent need to grow expert entrepreneurs among our students and staff. This is why we are set to rejig the delivery of entrepreneurship education in the University of Lagos.
The icing of the event was an educating, inciting, and a thought-provoking lecture delivered by Professor Fola Shaliti Ogunshola, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Development Services, University of Lagos, also known as Mama Entrepreneur.
There are 8 essential qualities of an academic leader. You must have vision, ability to see beyond the now, and order the now to achieve the future. So you start to plan for the future from the now because you're looking ahead and you can see where everybody is going. It's also the ability to have good communication skills because you must be able to convince others to key into that vision and bring them round. You can't force people into a vision. You influence, you communicate, you convince, you debate till they see that vision.
The representative of the Managing Director of Bank of Industry, Mr. Oluwaseun Tubi, commended the management of the institution and opined that the bank shall always support a laudable project of such nature.
It's also our belief that what is being done here today is a model that hopefully we can begin to see replicated across many other locations. We have when the first discussion with the Vice Chancellor held sometimes over a year ago, our managing director was able to see through the vision what UNILAG is trying to do, and immediately agreed that BY is going to support it. And that support is still ongoing, and there's been many more instances, opportunities to support.
Dr. Sunday Abayomi Adebisi, who eloquently eulogized the Vice Chancellor and the various contributors to the event, while giving his vote of thanks, appreciated the untiring efforts of their collaborators, especially the Bank of Industry. Ames Media Crew was there to capture the event as it unfolded.
University of Lagos is playing a great role in the sense that they are building the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Nigeria.
I see ourselves being mentors, being entrepreneurs, and bringing solutions to even the problems, even in our faculties, which can now be taken even on our students, and this can make them entrepreneurs and also develop their own businesses.
These days, people look forward to graduating and getting jobs, but the reality on ground is that you need to be able to employ yourself. And there's always something that you can do that you can add value to society for, and also use to add value to yourself.
For Bank of Industry, we realize that the problems of the country are quite enormous. And for us, we're always looking for partners who understand those challenges, but more importantly, understand that actions are required to be able to address those challenges. So when the discussion started with UNILAG, we immediately saw what they were doing, and we felt this is a good partner we need to work with.
It is not possible for government to provide job for everybody. So it is important for each and every one of us to look into our discipline and see the entrepreneurship opportunities there, so that we can not only ourselves key into it, but teach our students.
People have caught this vision, and they have understood, what we are doing, and they've understood that this is the way to go. And the teachers themselves, they are excited to join us in doing this, and that is my happiness. And the university ecosystem now is rising up to the fact that entrepreneurship is the right way to go.
We want our students to be able to develop their own, to have their own business, and also the University of Lagos management will register the company for the students, get a mentor for them, and the startup grant for them. And you can see this coming out now. So we now thought, instead of the student coming to this center, it's better for us to get them from the faculties, from the department faculties. So the people that are involved in this program now will, from the faculty, from their department, will be able to harvest the students for this purpose and bring them here for a bigger exposure.
We wish the institution a success in their future endeavors as they continue to bring out the business and innate potential in their students and lecturers.
You're welcome back. The program is still the Magnate, and today we are focusing on medical practice, especially on gynae and obstetrics. Now, let's look at, earlier on, shortly before we went on the break, you said people are carried away with love for money now. I also know that people choose to specialize in gynae and obstetrics because it is money spinning in medical practice. Is that correct?
It depends on the way you look at it.
They say that gynae practice is the commercial nerve of medicine. Is that correct?
I don't think so. It depends on the way it depends on the way you look at it.
Have you heard that before, sir?
I've heard that several. My colleagues say, "Are you a gynecologist? You have a lot of money?"
Because really, the issue where we started from, we're talking about infertility. A lot of people want to have children, and they have to pay heavily sometimes to attain pregnancy.
No, when you get to a certain level, you don't look for money. You understand me?
I'm not talking you as a person. Yes. We are looking at it from the broader point of view. Yes.
Everything you do is an avenue to make money. Yes, you have avenues to make more money in obstetrics and gynae if you have that mind of making money. But if you have that dedication of helping humanity, you find that money doesn't make it. Even you find your patients automatically become they become your children. And when they become your children, you find difficulty in even charging them. You understand? I have come to that stage now that I'm also almost in the third generation of patients. And you find the children's children, and so on, they are referred to me. I find it difficult to charge them money. But one thing gives me satisfaction, the success. When you achieve the success, when a couple who for about 6 years they've lived together and they couldn't have a child, and you saw them, you investigated and you treated them, and they are able to produce one. Believe me, the day they have that baby, you see the joy in their face, and it affects my heart that I feel fulfilled at that moment. No amount of money can buy that.
That's true.
You understand me? That's why maybe that's why I'm not rich. You understand me? But I am rich because I have many children.
The program is the Magnate. Yes. Any profession we are extracting here is the way to do it right to make money. Yes. So there's nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
But let's look at the high rates. It's still quite high of maternal mortality and morbidity in Nigeria. Particularly because it's related to your practice, isn't it?
Yes.
Can you clear that?
Maternal mortality depends on so many factors. Number one, let's start with the government. The government must get their acts right in propagating, in executing good health programs. It starts with primary health care. That's the bedrock of health care. All right? And that takes care of about 70 to 75% of healthcare in general, all right, and this involves mother and child. You understand me? So when the bedrock of primary healthcare is good, you find that what it produces, if it's taken care of, the secondary will be good. All right. Now, we have still not got our acts right as far as primary health care is concerned. It is preventive and only a bit part of it that is curative. Okay. All right. And if you prevent, you can have a good result at the product at the end. Okay. All right. And let me relate it to obstetrics and obstetrics in particular. Antenatal care. Yeah. Antenatal care is the bedrock, is the root of what that child will be. If a patient attends antenatal clinics and takes all the necessary things, all the necessary immunizations, and all the necessary drugs, and all the necessary monitoring, control, if there's hypertension, if it's controlled, and so on. All right? The product, that's the baby. All these things have effect on the baby, and the kind of product will be determined by the type of antenatal care that you have.